There is a popular saying in leadership that if you think you're leading and there's nobody following you, you are only going on a walk. On this platform, you are going to learn principles of leadership. You are going to encounter different leaders. You are going to learn about how you can grow as a leader, how you can make an impact. My name is Samuel Eyim, and I'm the host for the leadership platform. I am a leadership coach, a lawyer by profession, a John C. Maxwell certified coach. I have been in corporate life in senior positions for several years, and now I run the Center for Transformational Leadership, where we train and coach leaders to become better leaders. And I invite you to go on a journey with us as we discuss the subject of leadership in the coming weeks.
This and every Saturday, you have opportunity to ask questions, share your views on important leadership matters.
Hello everyone, my name is Elsie and I'm excited that I just completed a 15-week journey with the CTL Africa team on the 15 Laws of Invaluable Growth by John C. Maxwell.
From the law of pain, I also learned that every problem introduces a person to himself. Honestly, till you face a problem, you wouldn't know the things that you actually have within you.
The journey for me personally was a wake-up call. Before I joined this journey, I wasn't actually learning at all. I wasn't adding any logic to what I knew.
So the law of trade-off is saying that you have to give up to grow up. So things that I think are not going to have maximum impact on my life, I have to trade them off.
I want to grow. I am not stopping now. I am continuing. And as far as I'm concerned, like it says, you cannot give what you don't have. I definitely will have to give what I have learned off to others and then get more so that I can continue giving. I am not going to be a reservoir. I am going to be a river, and therefore I'm going to continue learning to be able to give of my best.
Ordinary people can achieve extraordinary results on a consistent basis if they have a system, if they have a plan.
Hello, and welcome to the Leadership Platform. Good evening, everyone. We are excited once again to come your way this evening on the Leadership Platform with a great topic, an important topic that requires our attention. It is absolutely important that we know how to manage time, but time is actually life. So this evening we are going to engage powerfully with a speaker who is going to help us through this idea of time management and all the misconceptions around time management. And so we encourage all of you to stay till the end because your time is your life. So don't move an inch. We have a great teacher and speaker who is going to lead us in the discussion. As I say all the time, we learn more during the Q&A. So get engaged. Go ahead and share your learnings as we go on. If you're picking anything, please write what new things you're learning, which ones you're going to apply to your life, things you're going to change as we go along, and things you're going to teach to other people. It's called the ACT principle. Things you're going to apply, things you're going to change, and things you're going to teach to extend your influence. So come with us as we prepare to launch out. But before then, please go ahead to introduce yourself. We know so many of you connect every Saturday, but it is our pleasure when you introduce yourself and we see you connected so that we would announce you to the whole wide world. So I can see William Darfur. William, thank you so much for connecting. Thank you so much. I see Ebenezer Tufor, who has connected all the way from Abuja, and say good evening all participants. Thanks to CTL for this opportunity. Miss Abe is here. Thank you so much. And please, all of you who have connected, let us know where you are connecting from. All right. We know so many of you connect. Also, you don't introduce yourself. That's fine, but even better if you do. Now, this evening, as I've said, we have a very important subject, the subject of time, and whether we can manage it, what are the myths, what are the ideas, what are the realities, how do you get more productive as a leader, as a person. And today we are going to get engaged on that. And we have a speaker who's been on this platform before and made a lot of impact by his presentation the last time. But not just here. This our speaker is actually named among the top 10 most influential young Africans and 50 most influential young Ghanaians, 60 young leader in Ghana by Coca-Cola, top 100 speaker in Ghana, and a finalist nominee of the African Leadership Academy Anisha Prize for African Entrepreneurship. Now, our speaker is my friend. I got in touch with Ekow when I started CTL and we needed a website, and one of his teammates worked on our very first website. And in the process, I came in touch with him and I saw all the things that he's been doing with young people, with SMEs, and then several companies and initiatives he was working. I was just amazed at how can a young man at this, level be doing all these things at the same time. And he didn't even have, such a great team at that time, but he was just doing so many things. This is what passion does. And in fact, I would encourage you to just go not only on our link, but also the link we've shared to Ekow's own personal website and see the things that he's every day creating ideas. We need a lot of young people like this. We need a lot of leaders. We need a lot of Ghanaians, a lot of Africans like Ekow, who is going to speak to us this evening. All right. So Ekow is a Catalyst Award sponsored by MasterCard. He prides himself as being a serial entrepreneur, as I've said, serial consultant, trainer, author, speaker, business and life coach who has developed a wealth of knowledge and experience in the startup and SME markets, both as a practitioner and as a multiple business owner. There's so much we can talk about Ekow. Her resume speaks to itself. And John Maxwell has said, if you're good, you don't need a long introduction. And if you're not good, a long introduction will not help you. We know Ekow is so good, so we're not going to actually waste our time introducing him. He is going to demonstrate to us what he's worth. And so at this point, I just want to welcome Ekow to the stage
and speak to us. I see already. Ekow, you are very, very welcome. Thank you so much for doing us the honors. So many more people have joined. Let me just mention them, introduce them to the world, and then Ekow will take over. I see Christopher Gavo, who is here and says he's happy to be here. Rose Odai is here. Emma Akon is here. Emma, thank you for coming. Ishon Williamson is here. Philip Angmore is here. Oparisechi is here. Thank you so much. Reverend Isaac Asante Miracle is here. Thank you so much, everybody who is here. Ekow.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for this platform. I think that it's been one of the most consistent platforms that I have ever seen, and your consistency is admirable. I remember the first time I joined, I was in so much hurry. I think that time I was traveling from Takrady to Accra, and I got to Accra pretty late, but I had to make it, because when CTL invites you, you cannot miss it. And you know, when they bring you back, it means that at least you delivered value on the first time. So this means a lot to me, that I have this opportunity to be back here. And I'm back here to talk about something that is very exciting to me, which is time. You know, and I'm hoping that at the end of the session, we'll be able to learn a lot. Everybody has the same amount of time. And for me, I've said repeatedly that the very essence of this God is good phrase that we use is because he's gracious enough to ensure that regardless of whoever you are, wherever you are in this world, whether you are rich or poor, whether you are black or white, whether you are male or female, we all have been gifted with 24 hours in a day. Bill Gates has the same time as myself. And can you imagine, he also has the same time as you, the one that has joined us this evening. And you would wonder, what is it that with 24 hours, some people are able to go to bed changing the world, and some people are able to go to bed being just a liability, not to the world, but to themselves. And this is something that I am personally excited about. And I'm hoping that as many people as possible can hear what I have termed the myth of time management. But today we are going to look at leadership, as it is the theme of this great platform. And we're going to look at productivity, and we're going to look at how time management fits into all this. All right. And at the end, I'm hoping that we'll be able to learn something. As it is a requirement, sometimes you need to put together a presentation. And I always say that I speak as I'm inspired by God, because sometimes the things that I say during my presentations are things that I even learn from and I never prepared for. So I don't really like restricting myself with PowerPoint, but for the sake of the audience and everything, I would share a little PowerPoint that I put together, and I'm hoping that we can expand on the various sessions of it. And as we do that, we get to learn. All right, so let's go into time management and leadership productivity, myth and reality. All right. And I would start with what leadership is. It's the very essence of this platform. So then not talking about it doesn't make my presentation complete. And I'm sure you and I know what leadership is. You cannot be on this platform and not be aware of what leadership is by now. But one word that speaks to you when you talk about leadership is influence. And as John Maxwell always says, everything rises and falls on leadership. And for me, I believe that with all my heart, and I've experienced it throughout my life, that everything indeed rises and falls on leadership. And when you talk about leadership and you don't talk about influence, you haven't actually described leadership in its entirety. Leadership is nothing but influence, the ability of an individual or a group of individuals to influence and guide followers and other members of an organization, of a society, of a network, of a community. Anything that happens because there was the presence of a leader, whether appointed, whether whether assigned, or whether emerging by its natural courses. But nothing happens without a leader. And that happens because there's some level of influence. And leadership reflects on the ability of one to express a vision, influence others to achieve results, encourage team cooperation, and be an example. I want you to note certain things that this description talks about. One is the vision. And I know that it's something that we consistently talk about, but if you don't know where you're going, anywhere can lead you to somewhere. And you wouldn't want to live your life not knowing where you're going. In fact, you cannot talk about time and not talk about being intentional about it. Intentionality is what produces expected results. Intentionality is what produces expected results. If you're not intentional about your life and where you're going, don't be surprised when you get anywhere. Because really, the way life is, you would definitely get somewhere. Like nobody just does like stops. Even in your stopping, it's still a stage that you've moved from to. So definitely, whether you like it or not, you will definitely get somewhere. But what we advise is that be certain about where you're going in your mind before you get there. And that's what vision is all about. So being able to express a vision, being able to influence others to achieve results, encouraging team cooperation, collaboration, and working together. Because if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go with people. And that tells a lot about how to get people to go along with you. And when we talk about time management, the need for leadership and the need for influencing people to go along with you is important because nobody has unlimited time. All right. So because time is limited, you need to be able to build a community of people that believe in your vision and would go along with you for you to be able to achieve it in its entirety. So the last one is also be an example. You do, they watch, and then they emulate. All right. The best leaders are the ones that we literally get inspired by. Without inspiration, there isn't any continuous action. Without inspiration, you need to literally be able to pay people to get things done. Without inspiration, you need to force people, you need to command people, you need to intimidate people, you need to put them in slavery, you need to take away something that they value before they follow. But then as people grow and become more independent, you realize that as an individual, as a leader, you cannot get far with anything but inspiration. Even money has its limitations, all right? So then you can go as far as you can with paying your way through. But then if you really want something that is lasting, you need to inspire something in people that would make them want to go along with you. So vision, result, cooperation, and example. Bear these 4 things in mind, and then we will definitely take another look at it. Now, what is influence? Influence is the capacity to have an effect on the character, development, and behavior of someone or something, or the effect itself. The ability and the capacity to have an effect on the character, because you wouldn't want something to be done today and then tomorrow there's no consistency in it. Consistency produces results that is lasting. If you and I want to build a legacy, if you and I want to build something that lasts, if you and I want to build something that can influence generations way beyond us, we need to be able to influence people's character, to be able to be consistently producing results alongside the vision that we carry. And anybody that is able to do that is able to get consistency and then is able to build a lasting legacy. All right. So the character, the development, and the behavior of someone is what is known as influence. All right. So when you're a leader, your focus is how do you influence, how do you inspire, how do you build the character, how do you develop, and how do you influence the behavior of the people that follow you. Influence, again, is the act or power of producing an effect without apparent exertion of force or direct exercise of command. Told you, and I'm sure on this platform you've learned the different leadership that exists: autocratic leadership, people leadership, and all those other leadership that exist. As long as you're able to move people from point A to point B, and they are willing to do it. That's why they say that when somebody is able to lead the church or an NGO full of volunteers who are willing to do something. They've been able to inspire them to resonate their cause with their own individual causes. And that's why they're able to stay in the church and do all that they have to do, or follow the NGO and impact the world as people, get to do. Because at the end of the day, it is not about the commanding people and exerting force and all that. Because you see, when people get tired, they revolt. And when they revolt, you're not able to get them to be able to commit as you would wish, to be able to achieve the result that you're looking for. And don't forget, the topic for tonight is talking about leadership productivity. And when we get there, you realize that productivity is nothing but the attainment of consistent results towards a certain goal or vision or mission. All right. So let's go on. What do we lead? All right. And these are the 4 things that I am saying you lead, because a lot of the time when you talk about leadership, we talk about people. And I've also heard in other contexts that you are not a leader if you don't have people following you. And that is true. But there's also the concept of self-leadership. Now, if you're not someone that you would follow, then you've already, you've already, well, I don't want to use the word failed, but if you won't follow yourself, then why would anybody want to follow you? You need to be someone that loves following themselves. You need to be someone that you believe that you're on a course and in a journey that you need to be on. So the first thing you lead always is yourself. And if you're leading yourself, you start with your mind. Because apart from time, which is the greatest asset anybody can ever have, because the greatest tragedy in life is when you lose time, when you lose your mind, when you lose time. That is actually like one of the biggest tragedies, when you cannot account for the time. And that's why even for the Christians that may be here, one of the things that we are all going to do one day is to account for the time that was given us on earth. So you would know that time is very important to God himself, who gave it to you freely, because you're going to, at a point in your life, account for the time that you spent on this earth. And if you're not able to account for it because you said you didn't have anybody following you, then you know that you've already failed the test. Lead yourself by first leading your mind. This brain will take you everywhere. This thing that you have on your head is what actually would open every door, because here sits everything else that the body does. From your knowledge, from your skill set, from your experience, and from your exposure. Please note these 4 things, because it is going to really inform everything about your life. Your knowledge, what you know, and those of you who are Christians, you know that because of lack of knowledge, most of us are perishing. And it's not just about what we learn in school, it's about everything. Everything you're going through has a lesson that you need to learn. Every experience you have has a lesson that you need to learn. Every good, bad, everything you've done, everything you've been through, everything you've been taken through has a lesson that you need to learn. And everything built on your mind. In the end times, there'll be abundance of knowledge. All right. And now we have internet, and it has eliminated your excuse for being ignorant. This is not the time to be asking what is. In fact, one of your biggest investments should always be on data and a smartphone or a computer, because really there sits every knowledge that the world has. It's the biggest library. And if you're still ignorant of certain things, then you are really doing yourself a disservice. All right. So here is where you lead your mind. 1, your knowledge. 2, your skill set. Knowledge is what you know. Skill set is what you know how to do. Experience is what you've done over the years or over time. And then exposure is what you've been exposed to. I always say with confidence that exposure is better than education. Exposure is more impactful than education. And if you're working towards being a leader that gets results, you need to expose yourself to a lot of things. And that's why mentorship is important, because we don't have time to go through every experience in the world. So then you learn from people that have gone through this experience, and out of the lessons, you're able to be better and to do better. Exposure is putting yourself in situations that opens your mind's eye to the possibility of things. I always say that one of the challenges when it comes to you being rich is that you've never experienced wealth. All right. If you've never handled 100,000 cities, 100,000 cities will probably give you sleepless nights and may even end up killing you. So then the moment you start holding big money, now big money is not anything to you. So it now opens doors for you to be able to attract those big monies as well. So if you're an entrepreneur here, know that you probably are not making money because you've never experienced money before. You've never had a check of 50,000. You never had a check of 100,000. So then it's strange to you. So even it affects your pricing. So if you're a service person and then you are pricing maybe a consultancy and they say, how much do you charge per hour? And you say $1,000, you scream because you have never experienced that before. So exposure is very important. So in leading yourself, bear in mind these 4 things. 1, your knowledge. Continuous learning is your responsibility. School only gives you enough to be a professional. Beyond that, you need to own your own learning. Please, you are responsible for your continuous education. I'm only taking time here because I need to emphasize that leadership starts with yourself. And if you really want to be a good leader, take care of these 4 things. Learning how to deal with people, learning how to manage people, learning how to influence people are all the things that will sit here. And then everything reflected. Your health, your well-being, your relationships, your everything about even the way you think is influenced by your ability to lead yourself. The second one is that your ability to lead people. And this is only because you do not have enough time and resources. So you spend time to lead yourself, and then eventually that translates into leading other people alongside the particular vision or cause that you have. And then the third one is leading the vision. All right. And you can literally lead a vision without leading people. When you know where you're going, you focus and then you make sure you're consistently doing it. And because of the results you're getting, you realize that people literally start following you because they are inspired. When vision is coming into full force, it causes inspiration that results in a revolution. And if you don't know what vision you carry, if you don't know what your potential is, if you don't know what your purpose is, don't even attempt to start leading people because you only be leading them astray. All right. So vision is one of those things that you have to be mindful of. You need to lead a particular vision. And of course, there's a course that all of us should be on. Gender equality, domestic abuse, different courses. Okay. For me, one of the courses I am very passionate about is marriage and divorce, because I believe that one of the greatest things that you can ever experience as a human is to have someone that is going along with you on this life journey. It is one of the most beautiful things that anybody can ever experience, to have a husband or a wife that believes in you, believes in your vision, and want to go along with you. And for me, that's one of the courses that I lead. When so there's a platform called Marriage Discourse on Facebook, and you probably have to check it out. And for me, that's one of the things I'm leading. And you can lead a course as well. All right, it doesn't necessarily have to be alongside the vision you carry, but it's something that is needful and something that you believe would impact the world. So that's another thing that you need. So these are the 4 examples. There could be other things, but yourself, people, vision, and cause. You get it? Okay, great. So now let's go to leadership productivity. Leadership productivity is the ability of a leader to achieve and exceed expected results within timelines with available resources and people. It is a measure of the efficiency and effectiveness of a leader. Listen, there was a time that Jesus was walking around and saw a fig tree that was not bearing fruits, and he cursed the fig tree, even though the fig tree's time was not up. Productivity is at the heart of God and everybody that calls themselves a leader, and people that have also given you the opportunity to lead. Not being productive is actually wasting not just your life, but wasting the opportunities and resources that you've been given. Productivity is everything, and the only word to describe productivity is result. And how would you know you are attaining results when you don't have specific set goals and a vision with a mission that drives you every day? Passion is important, but towards what? Towards what? Results. Result, result. One of the things that you need to get yourself away from, far away from as a leader, is excuses. Because excuses is trying to give yourself a tangible reason not to get results. The moment you give excuse, no matter how tangible you think the excuse is, it is your reason for failing to get an expected result. My brother, my sister, listen, as a human being, even not as a leader, just as a human being, the thing that distinguishes you from everybody else at work, in your business, at school, at home, in the community, in government, in everything is result. If you don't get it done, don't give an excuse because then that is doing two wrong things at the same time. You couldn't get it done and you're trying to explain, wasting everybody's time. Result. Leadership productivity is all about attaining specific results within limited timelines with available resources and people. If you're giving a year to attain a certain result, and then you take 10 years, you may have attained the result, but you haven't done it within the timelines that we're giving. That in itself is not success. But of course, the fact that you've attained the results is good, all right? But you don't have all the time in the world. So result, bear that in mind. It is a measure of the efficiency and the effectiveness. One has to do with time, and then the other has to do with quality. And this is a challenge I'm giving you. Please, in the comment box, tell me which of these two words has to do with time, and then which of them has to do with quality. A leader's productivity is a measure of his or her efficiency and effectiveness. Which one has to do with time and which one has to do with quality of work? Put it in the comments so that afterwards we can discuss that. Okay, why is leadership productivity important? First of all, is a measure of a leader's effectiveness. I already said it, and efficiency. All right, the ability to use time and resources wisely to attain specific results. 2 is an example to the team. Because you see, you want to be able to inspire people to want to do things for you. So in doing that, you don't always have to say it. You don't always, in fact, one of the greatest leadership characteristics is your ability to listen more than talking. When people can do things even in your absence, when people can get the right things done in your absence, it tells of the quality of leader you are. Because you have been intentional about showing example in such a way that it has inspired a certain level of performance, even in your absence. And that's what we should aim at as leaders, inspiring a certain level of performance through the examples we give from the things we do to be able to ensure that the result keeps giving even in our absence. When you are there, people want to impress you. Please don't confuse being impressed or they impressing you with they being inspired. There are two different things. When people want to impress you, they only function and get you results when you are looking on or when you're around. But the moment you're not around, they tend to do other things. That is not an inspiration that lasts. Okay, that is just they wanting to impress you, maybe for an expected result or something like that. Okay, now it is what sets the bar and inspires others. Leadership productivity sets a certain standard, because they know that, Charlie, when it comes to Mr. Nim, he doesn't tolerate this because he set a certain standard. We set a certain bar for which we all have to meet. And he's consistently telling us about it, building our capacity about it. So we know that there's a bar that has been set by the results that he gets consistently. All right. And then, of course, it is a measure of economic performance. It is a measure of economic performance. When you are a good leader, it results in you either reducing waste or enhancing productivity, enhancing results, enhancing value, enhancing wealth. All right. So then at the end, something has to show. about the quality of leader that you are. And these are some of the 4 things. Let me just rush through a bit. Now we come to the myth of time management. All right. And this is why I don't really like PowerPoint. Everything is out there. But really, you can see it boldly. Time can never be managed. Don't deceive yourself. When you want to sleep a little, when you want to wait a little, when you want to, just see how things go a little, time is not also waiting for you a little. Like it or not, no one can manage time. And this is something that I'll keep drumming and drumming till everybody gets to hear. This whole thing about time management is a myth. And a myth is something that is widely believed, but it's not true. Management is the process of dealing with or controlling things or people. To manage is to be in charge of or to run something. Synonyms of manage is conduct, control, and direct. Tell me, which one of us can manage or control time? Because whether you like it or not, time is going. Time is the most consistent thing in the world, if you haven't noticed. Work or don't work, morning and night will come. Because these things were set from the beginning of the world, the beginning of time. Morning and evening, day and night, today and tomorrow will certainly come, whether you are rich or poor, whether you are productive or not productive, whether you're a good leader or a terrible leader, whether you are a good student or a bad student, whether you're a good parent or a bad parent, whatever you do or not do, time will keep going. We do not manage time, okay? Time is a free gift that has been given. And that is the thing that we all convert into the value that we want. The thing about entrepreneurship, and I'm just chipping this in, is about converting your time through the exchange of a certain value for a man-made commodity or currency, which is money. Time is divine. Money is man-made. So God is good because he's given us something in equal measure for which all of us can use something to convert to get the money that we want. So if you want to be rich and you're not rich at this time, just know that you are not exchanging your time for a certain level of value. And it's probably because you've not been exposed to a certain level of money or finance. And that has not informed the ideas that you have. So some of the ideas that you have cannot even be scaled. They cannot make a million CD because they are very, very small ideas. And it's because you've not been exposed to big things. So when we talk about oil, you are scared. When we talk about gold, you are scared. It's only because you've not put yourself in a place where you are exposed to these things. So those of you who have children, please, aside the education that we give them, take them on excursions, take them on, let them do internships, let them get in touch with things that would blow their minds. Because you see, when your mind is blown, it opens up the opportunity to think big things. But when your mind is not blown, everything you think about is in small pockets. And that's why we are where we are. We've not been able to understand that time is the same everywhere. And time is consistently moving. And time is not something we can manage. What we can manage is ourselves. What we can manage is our activities. What we can manage is our thinking. What we can manage is our relationships. What we can manage is our money. What we can manage is everything around us, our vision, our passion, our energy. We can manage all those things, but they inform the value of the time that we've just used. Now, if you can't manage time, then what can you do with time? And this is where I'm going to spend a lot of my time with you discussing, all right? Now, to improve leadership productivity, you need to do 3 things with time. 1 is invest time. 2 is to use time. And 3 is to avoid the waste of time. Now, this is my theory. All right, this is what would probably get me a PhD because I'm always telling people that time cannot be managed. And this whole idea of time management is actually what is known as activity management. Activity management, because you can literally just control your activities within the stipulated time that you have. But do it or don't do it, the time will not wait for you. If the time was waiting for you, then you could say that you're managing it. But because the time is consistently going and you have not done that activity, you are managing the activity because you can control when it is done and when it is not done. Activity management is what people are propagating everywhere as time management, because time, dear, like it or not, is going. All right, look at the clock on there. It's going, it's moving. Whether I'm talking or if I keep quiet right now, time will not also stay still. It keeps going. So now, for a leader to be productive, there are three things you need to bear in mind when it comes to the greatest resource you've been given, which is time. One is investment in the creation of value. When you invest time, you are able to get something in return, which is value. And I'll talk a bit about that. Now, when you use time, you attain something we call results. Remember, I mentioned that in leadership productivity? Results, 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 expected result within specific timelines by the use of resources and people. All right. Now, the next thing you do is avoid the waste of time. And as a leader, this is your greatest enemy: time wasted. And time wasted is when you cannot account for the time you used. And that is one of the greatest sins in the world, really. That is one of the greatest disappointments of God for mankind. When you cannot account for the time that you have used from morning till 7 p.m. today, what have you done? What value have you created? What result have you gotten? If you're a leader that is leading yourself, if you're a leader that is leading people, if you're a leader that is leading a vision, if you're a leader that is leading a cause, know this, that if you cannot account for the use of time with doing these four things, then you're failing as a leader. You're failing as an individual. You're failing as a child of God. Like it or not. The greatest failure in life is not even being rich or poor or whatever. It's your inability to account for the time that you were given. And that's why when you and I see an old person that is struggling with young people to take trotro, the first thing that comes into our mind is, what did he do with what? His time. Why is he here? Why is he struggling with us? It is excusable for us to be fighting over trotro at this time because we haven't been able to grow enough, gotten enough opportunity. We are still young, so we are allowed to make mistakes. But why is this 60-year-old struggling with us? What happened to him? Where are his kids? Don't you ask that all the time? Why? Because you think that by automatically growing, certain results should be attained. And when those results are not attained, you wonder why. Because honestly, like it or not, the greatest gift ever given mankind is time. And that's why when your time is up, you're done. There's nothing else you can do. It is appointed unto man to live once, to use time once, to invest time once. When you're done, the rest is accountability. And that's why for me, I'm very passionate about teaching and helping people to expand their knowledge, their skill sets, their experience, and their exposure. Because it really does inform who you become and the result you get as a leader. So now let's break it down. I'm only focusing on the waste because honestly, a lot of us are wasting time. What did you do with your 24 hours yesterday? What did you do with your 24 hours on Friday? It is 24 hours. As a leader, did you teach anyone anything? Did you learn anything new? What did you do with it? Okay, and can you imagine the same time a young lady, you don't have kids, you don't have a husband, you don't have any dependents, you're using the same amount of time as a mother of four, a wife, probably a pastor or a pastor's wife, a full-time worker, and even a student, the same time. So what is it that they are doing in that 24 hours with four kids, school, education, wife, husband, responsibilities, and you are not doing with that? But yet you are complaining that you have no time as a young person. Please lead thyself. All right. So let's talk about these three things and I'll wrap it up and then we can take some questions. So one, investment. Investment is about creating value. Let me share this with you. And this is my thoughts. All right. And I'm sure on this platform, we are allowed to share our thoughts. Your greatest responsibility as a human being, your greatest assignment as a human being, your universal purpose in life is to create. I'm allowing time for it to sink in. If you never find your purpose, whenever we talk about vision, we talk about purpose, we talk about destiny, people are confused, they don't know what to do and everything. Don't worry. In your confusion, in your whatever state you are in, just know this one thing. If you are not creating things, you're not living a life of purpose. You need to start thinking about creation. And that's why you're giving those ideas. That's why you're giving that passion and energy. That's why you're giving that voice. That's why you're giving that intellect. That's why you're giving that height. That's why you're giving this body. That's why you've been gifted with things and people around you to be able to create things. The chair I'm sitting on, the computer I'm using, the software that is being used for this broadcast, everything was a figment of somebody's imagination that was created for our use. And as a leader, you need to focus on creating things, creating an environment of productivity, creating a knowledge that empowers people, creating a life that inspires people. If you're not creating, you're not living. What are you creating? You have an idea and your biggest worry is that you don't have money. Money is man-made. If you don't have money, it only means that you don't have people that have money who see value in the ideas and the things that you want to do. Money is man-made. God did not create money. For those of you who are religious, who are passionate, who are energetic, and you are consistently complaining that because you don't have money, you cannot live your dreams, you cannot live your life, please, please, hear me. If you're a leader, if you're a human being, if you're somebody that wants to go somewhere, take an inventory of your life so far and then project it forward and determine the things you want to create with your life. Your name should be synonymous with things that you have created. And the magnitude of those things you create is what really impacts people beyond your imagination. This is a platform that has been created by CTL. It is giving me an opportunity to speak to you. Creation. What are you creating every day? From the little ant to the elephant, God created each one of them. And they are symbolic for you to know that what you create might be as little as an ant, but it is not devoid of wisdom. Stop looking at elephants and comparing them to your ant and looking down on your ant and thereby depriving your ant of its responsibility to influence people, to inspire people, to impact lives. Investing time is creating value. What do people come to you for? It is determined by what you fill your mind with. And that's why we tell you read. That's why we tell you, if you don't like reading, watch things that would inform your mind. That's why we tell you that if you don't like watching, listen. God is such a good God that He gave you the eye, He gave you the ear. If you can't read, if you can't watch, you can listen. People that don't hear, don't see, can still read. What are you talking about? Why are you giving yourself as an excuse? If you're a leader, you can't give yourself an excuse. Investing time is creating value, and value is what results in your efficiency of the use of your time. I'll explain. In business, when you're creating value, you are building your capacity to be able to attain results in shorter a period than you normally would if you hadn't invested the value. Let me break it down. When you're in school, you're not necessarily making money because you're supposed to attain education. You're supposed to attain knowledge. You're supposed to build your capacity, your skill set. But you invest that time in school and learn so that when you come out, whatever you've learned would shorten your use of time in getting the results that you are looking for. And this is the thing that people don't get. Why do you go to school and learn all those things you cannot apply? And if you know you cannot apply them, why are you not learning things you can apply within the time that you are in school? Because you're supposed to invest time to get some value in your mind, in your body, in your hands, so that when you start using time in your career, you do it quickly and you get results faster than anybody else. Why are you not learning? Why are you not reading? Why are you not building relationships? Why are you not networking with people that can inform the thinking that you have? Why are you not challenging yourself with something new every day? Value creation is not necessarily getting inspired. You see, when you talk about value, it's about building your own capacity and the capacity of your people, so that when they start doing the work, they do it quickly. Iron sharpened iron, right? So if a blade is blunt, it takes longer to get the work done. Investment of time is sharpening the blade, sharpening the saw, sharpening the tools. Do not blame your tools when you're a bad workman or workwoman. You have to balance the gender. Guys, leadership productivity is all about building your capacity to deliver value, to create value. When you talk, you make sense, so people listen to you. When you open your mouth, people pay attention because you've learned and invested time such that you are an authority. You've built experience. You've worked for a year. You've worked for 10 years. You've worked for 20 years. You weren't paid your value, but you've created a certain value that now people put all your accumulated value and give it to you as salary, as bonuses, as ex gratia. Forgive my controversy. But trust me, some of you saw the amount and you were like, what? This money can drop in your account and you won't feel it. It's value. It's value. And those of you who shook when you saw the amount, you are not there yet. You're not exposed to money yet. You need a lot of exposure. Now, everything you do that helps you to get specific results in a faster time with less use of resource and the effective use of people is an investment of time. I hope you understand. You can always go back and take your time and read. I don't have time, so let me move. Now, the next thing is use of time. My sister, my brother, like it or not, time is going on. It doesn't stop. So you can literally decide to use it or to waste it. When you can account for what you've done with your time, you've used it. When you're getting the results that is expected of you, of your bosses, of your followers, of your network, of your community, you have literally used time. If you cannot determine, if you cannot show, if you cannot tell of the results you've gotten with the life that you've lived, you've wasted your time. And that's why I tell people that, listen, you can overthink things, but nothing tops action. Action is everything. Because you see, the moment you start acting on your ideas, you're acting on your leadership, you're acting on your people, you're acting on your vision, it builds you three things. value in knowledge, value in experience, value in skill set. So even if you fail, that is not the focus of what you did. Some of you focus too much on success and failure. When you're failing to recognize that the bar is always shifted. When you're holding your Nokia 3310, that was at the point of success. But today, when you bring your Nokia 3310, that is a point of failure. The bar has shifted. So it is not about success or failure. It is about what have you learned and how will it make you better? How will it make you an effective leader? How would it help you with creating something next time? How would it help you with getting the results that you want? How would it help you to influence people? We focus too much on success and failure. So you look at your life, you compare it to somebody's life, and then you're like, oh, I failed. Who told you? What have you learned? And what are you doing with that thing that you have learned? That is what makes you a leader. Somebody wanted to build a business. They failed at building a business, but everything they learned is helping thousands of people build businesses and avoid failure. That is progress. In leadership, in life, there's nothing like success or failure. There is only one thing and one thing only: continuous progress. Continuous progress. The things that you're worrying about, they are misplaced priority. If you're not creating things, if you're not building your capacity, if you're not getting expected results, if you cannot account for your time, you are wasting it. And let me conclude on this. To improve your leadership, productivity, have a clear vision and a strategic plan. Listen, at this time, when we've spoken about vision, plan, and all that, and you're not using the people around you, the resources, and all those things to learn how to do these things, then what else do you want us to tell you? Why are you always on this platform, but your life is not seeing any considerable improvement? It's only because you set your mind so locked up that regardless of whatever excitement you get from being on this platform, it has only become a mere routine for you. We talk about goals all the time. You know everything about goals, smart goals, whatever goals, however you want to term it. How come you've never written a goal down before? What else should we tell you as a leader? Take responsibility for yourself. Involve team members in decisions. People will say that, oh, I don't have team members. Listen, as a business person, you don't only employ to have team members. All right? You don't only employ to have team members. Even the clients you have are prospective team members. Your family members, your relatives, your colleagues, your schoolmates, people everywhere can be team members depending on the value that you sell to them. Schedule everything. And this is where we talk about activity planning. You can't control time, so stop wasting your time and allocating and all those things. All you need is to get the thing done. Get it done, get it done, get it done, get it done, get it done. You spend time writing all those things down and you don't do them. Mitigate distractions. Distractions are only thieves of your time. When you have something to do and you're not doing it, but you're doing something else, it's a distraction. Regardless of the results you're getting, as long as it's taking you away from your primary goal, is a distraction. And sometimes you are distractions to yourself. When you're not working or creating and you're only sitting and worrying, you are distracting yourself. When you're so worried about everything people say about you, you are distracting yourself. When your mind is filled about the things you could not do, you're distracting yourself. Who told you that success is only at 40 or 50 or 60? At 70, you can still be successful. I told you, success is a mirage. It in itself is a myth because the goalpost is always shifting. Remember when you had the big TV, the Hunchback. It was a beautiful thing, beautiful experience. Now it's an embarrassment to you. My sister, you worry yourself. Oh. As a leader, getting results should be at the top of everything you do. Communicate and coach. Take time to think. One of our biggest challenges is that we don't think. We think, but we don't think. Thinking is a full-time. In fact, as a business person and as an entrepreneur, as a leader, one of your most valuable engagement is your ability to think. When something happens, withdraw and think. Learn how to think without distracting yourself. Think. See, this brain, don't waste it. One of the saddest things to see in life is someone that has gone mad, not because of a condition, but because they smoked or did something. And madness is like a waste of your mind, which is a waste of your life. And in conclusion, to understand anything you teach, to better apply anything you teach, to be able to be effective at anything you teach. And that's why Jesus is a teacher, because he needed the 12 people around him to consistently teach them so that he can consistently be better and be able to deliver. Because you see, in the moment of teaching, you hold yourself accountable. You think I'm doing everything I'm saying? No, but I become conscious of my hypocritical self when I teach people and I realize that, listen, you're not doing what you're preaching. Teach everything, sometimes even to yourself. Now, you see, you don't even need an audience to teach. Just get this platform or StreamYard. This was StreamYard. Get Zoom. Get their free platforms. Just put a video on yourself and teach. If they listen, fine. If they don't listen, just teach. Because the more you talk, the clearer things become to you. And as a leader, that's one of the things you do. You teach people what you know. You teach people what you've experienced, and you teach people what you're doing. And coach people. Coaching people is helping people navigate their thoughts and arriving at a conclusion that is self-owned. Coaching is helping people navigate their thoughts and arriving at a conclusion that is self-owned. You don't tell people what to do when you're a coach. You only guide them to arrive at that conclusion. All right? So leadership productivity is getting results. Time is about investing it, using it, or avoiding the waste, which is your inability to account for the use of your time. So if anyone asked you what you did from 7 to 8 today, you know that you came to learn. And they ask you, what did you do with what you learned? You should be able to show them what you have created. On that note, my name is Ekow Mensah, and I'm happy, as always, to be on this platform. I hope I've been a blessing to you, and I hope I'll be able to answer some of your questions. Thank you, and over to you, Mr. Lim.
Wow. Really, 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 really great. Very, very insightful. And I've been writing my notes, a lot of them. Productivity simply is results. I also wrote excuse, giving yourself tangible reasons for not getting results. Really, really, really important. Really, really, really important. You can only manage your activity. You cannot manage your time. So just schedule things and get things done. Invest in creating value, because that is how you become valuable. Wasting your time is when you create no value. I mean, I've written so many, and I'm sure that so many of you have also learned a lot. Ekow, thank you so very much for this great, great, great presentation. And so I have to just go to see what people are saying and what questions are up there. And let's see what's going on here. All right, good. Okay, though. So I see so many people. So many people. All right. All right. Ekow had asked what effectiveness and efficiency relate to. There are a few ideas here. Effectiveness is results. It's results. Efficiency relate to time. Efficiency is time. All right. So I see Lakwe is here. My thoughts: efficiency is time. Effectiveness relate to quality. Okay, you come back and see markers and see if the answers are correct. Ebenezer Tufo is here. He says it's not work. It's not very good. Now Adolfo is here. He likes exposure. Exposure is where you've been. Arabanunu Jr., what we can manage is response. We have Doggy Tony from Tema is here. Jerry Boachidankwa, great presentation, he says. Isaac Aiku, reverence is the law of consistency. Motivation gets you going. Discipline keeps you growing. That's John C. Maxwell in the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And we encourage you to join. Robert Amonu is here. Man was born to create and impact generations. Good. Commander Dinam Zoiku is here. He says Lakwe, efficiency, effectiveness, and economy are triad determinants of quality. Good. All right. Now says very great presentation. Thank you. Felix Money is here. Continuous progress. I'm not seeing any question, Ekow. You are such a great teacher. People don't have questions. Progress and not perfection. All right. What am I seeing again? All right. Vera says very insightful. Foibe is here. Olivia Kunedu, insightful, great presentation. William Dalfo says awesome and inspired presentation. Emmanuel Wulo Wollendal says that how do we balance efficiency and effectiveness as leaders? What is most important as leaders to be efficient or effective in what they do? So, Ekow, just one question up there. You want to come and comment on the others, but one question there. He says, how do we balance efficiency and effectiveness? Which is more important for the leader, efficiency or effectiveness? All right. So I have Dottie's wardrobe. I don't know if that's a true name. Wow, great presentation. Thank you, sir. Emma Akon says great presentation. Abdallah Isayaka says great presentation. So Ekow, everybody says great. Foibe says, whenever I return from a trip, my workers tell me they were not able to cope and do things. Am I a leader? All right, so that's our second question, Ekow. If you're taking notes, maybe we should come back and give us some thoughts before we go on. Let me see if there is any other. Lakwe says, this has been an awesome session. Resource. This will stay with me. Great. All right. Now Adolfo says there are people who are efficient and not resource oriented. No matter how you strive to help them, they just cannot be bothered. What do you do, or how do you handle such people? Okay, so we have 3 questions, Ekow, and several comments. So I want to just come back to you. The last one is Na's question. How do you people who are just efficient and they are not effective, they don't get resource, how do you handle them? So that's a nice question. Then there is the question from Emmanuel, who says, how do we balance efficiency and effectiveness? For the leader, which is more important, efficiency or effectiveness? All right, then there was another question. The first one, let me see if I can find it, or if you noted it, that's great. Okay. All right, I think that's it. Maybe I missed that one. All right, so Ekow, over to you.
Hi. Okay. So maybe I'll take the last one whenever I return from a trip. Um,
Yes.
I like the story of Jesus when it comes to leadership. Not just because I'm a Christian, but because I think that it's a true example of a leader, and it is important that whenever we're looking at studying leadership, we look at that story and how his life resulted in everything that we see today. And there is one thing that guides us to be able to know what Christianity is and what we are expected to do, which is the Bible. All right. And to be a good Christian, you need to literally read and apply everything that is in the Bible. I mean, the things that you led and everything. What I'm saying is that there was a manual in all religion. There is a manual that people need to read, learn, apply, and consistently improve on. Now, if you leave and productivity reduces, and then when you come back, it goes up again, it only means that you have made yourself the manual. So you're a living, breathing manual, and you've not been able to convert that manual into something tangible that people can still have in your absence. And you are not also consciously and intentionally developing the capacities of your people using that manual in such a way that even in your absence, you can expect certain results. And that's what they do in certain industries that are thriving, like banking. Anybody that has worked in a bank knows that it's a clockwork. It's so structured in such a way that it's not up to you, the employee, to determine whether you're going to be productive or not. There are systems that are consciously training them in a certain culture of productivity. Things that are expected are not guesswork. They tell you exactly what you need to do, what results looks like, over what period of time it has to be done. And they even have specific times they log off the system so that you are able to tell whether or not you are productive and getting the result. And you are consistently trained, you're consistently monitored, and you're consistently held accountable for the results that you are expected to get. Even as a small business, what you need to do is translate the things you do into a tangible instruction or set of instruction in a manual, and then start developing the people that you have and build their capacity and put in a system of accountability. I always say that even for Christians, the reason why some of us are still Christians and living good lives is because at the end, there is heaven and hell. There is an accountability that we'll all be subjected to. If there was none, trust me, there wouldn't be a difference between a Christian and a non-Christian. Even now, there is a bled. But honestly, because we know that there will be a point of accountability, we do what we need to do because there's expected result. All right. No, so you are a leader, but it's only when you are present. The only thing is that you need to now evolve that leadership. So this is where you invest time. Now you're using time. So when you're around, everybody is, you following your lead. But when you're around, there's nothing you've left behind that still gets people to follow. So you're a leader. Don't get yourself upset. But now translate everything you know and how you want your business to be done into something tangible and start consciously training people's mindset to be able to still be evolve in a point where they can still get you the results you want, even in your absence, and put in an accountability check so that they know. People need to be aware that they are being checked. Otherwise, they won't get you the results. So if when you put those things in place through the investment of your time, and sometimes you may not know how to do it, so find somebody who still gets results even in their absence, and learn what they've done, and then copy it. Listen, it is only in school that they say copying is illegal, but in real life, copying is a wise thing. And that's where innovation sits. You copy and add something small, and you are innovating. So please, you're a leader, okay? All right, let me look at how do you tell that your capacity built? Oh, okay, that's another question. How do you balance efficiency and effectiveness? And it's true. Those of you who said if efficiency is time and effectiveness is quality, it's true. Now, to balance the two is first to be able to be efficient. I told you that you can get results in 3 days and you can get results in 1 day. The difference in those results is what time were you expected to get the result, because that actually impacts the result. Because if a client is waiting for you to deliver now and you deliver 3 days later, they probably moved on and been upset with you. So it's not about the quality on the third day, but it's about, were you able to deliver when you said you're going to deliver? A leader's promise is their integrity, is their bond. So efficiency, efficiency is, for me, more important, because you cannot get back time, but you can literally redo what you did. And like I use the example of the phone. If you're a leader, one of the ways that you can see that you are continuously improving is when your past result is an embarrassment in your current state. I'll say it again. One of the most effective checks on you as a leader that you are making progress, substantial progress, is when your past result is embarrassing to you in your current state. This is what I mean. Remember the landline, the phone, yeah, you need to get home before you pick the phone, but now there's a mobile phone. When you compare the mobile phone to the landline may look embarrassing, but at that time, that was an amazing result. But because it has been evolved, it's evolved, you think the smartphone now is the best thing that ever happened. Eventually, we are going to get to the point where the smartphone is probably an embarrassment. But the thing is, this is how we check progress made. So efficiency is time that we cannot get back. So make sure that you are consistently bearing in mind the limitations that are placed on you with time. And then when it comes to effectiveness, put in your best to get expected results and just keep improving. Just keep improving. Just keep improving. And that's why they say that in the fullness of time, it's there in the Bible, in the fullness of time, in the fullness of time, in the fullness of time. Because you see, you cannot get time back, but you can improve on your results. So don't waste time in trying to be perfect with the current result. Because if you're really making progress in years to come, sometimes even in months, in days, you realize that, this is what I did. Because now you've grown in your capacity in such a way that you can deliver better results. So then it's a little embarrassing to you, but you did that. All right. Okay. So that's what efficiency comes first. Anything that would result in the waste of your time, deal with it first. Deal with it first. Then you can only improve on your results. All right. Okay. So I think there was another one. If I can remember, let me see okay. So there was another one.
You're right. There was another one. How do one tell? Well, there's another one from that. For how do I tell that your capacity built can create value? How does one tell that your capacity built can create value? There's another question which I can't find anymore. But
okay, there are people. I think Sarah has shared it, so I would tell that. Listen,
right.
Any capacity built is in itself value created. Any capacity built, listen, any capacity built is in itself value created. Any capacity built. Listen, anything you learn is not a waste. The only time that you have to be a bit worried is that you are learning things that may not necessarily help you in your current quest. But anything you learn is not waste. It might just speak for you at a point that you were least expecting. So building a capacity in itself is value. Now, when you talk about value created and value experience, those things are two different things. When somebody remembers you for a solution to a problem that they have, that is value that when you exchange, you can get some money or some other things you're expecting from. Value created when it is used by someone else is what results to you what you're expecting, whether it's in currency, which is money, or is in favors, or is in a relationship, or something like that. But there's nothing like a waste of value, waste of creating value or building capacity. All right. So everything you do in itself is value. You only need to make sure that you are doing it towards a vision, or you're doing it towards solving a problem that someone has. And when the person actually enjoys your solution, that is value that you've delivered on. The last one is there are people that are inefficient and not result oriented. No matter how you strive, in fact, why are you even wasting time with them? You know that they are actually wasting your time. See, you're not here to help everyone. Even the Bible says that when you enter somebody's house, you preach the gospel to them and they reject you, leave the house, dust your feet, and move on. Your responsibility as a Christian is to preach the word. The conversion is absolutely not your concern. That is the responsibility of someone else. Okay? So your responsibility as a leader is to plant in soils that are fertile. If you have time and you can make the soil fertile, that takes a bit of time. You have to apply manure, that is training, that is coaching and all that. But anyone that has made up their mind not to grow does not have to find themselves in your circle. It's a decision that people have to make from a realization of the wastage of their time, from the lack of accountability and results. If they haven't recognized that yet, they are not supposed to be in your circle, because when they are in your circle, you tend to waste your time and sometimes to even doubt yourself as whether or not you're a competent leader. You're not a leader for everyone. You are a leader for people that have made up their mind that what you have and what you are carrying and where you're going, they want to go along with you. If you're a business person and people are not getting results, why are they still there? Because by releasing them, you are only opening them up to opportunities that may help them to be more effective. Everybody, when they find themselves at the place that they ought to be, function well. And that's why even in corporate, when somebody is not performing, they take them around the various units to see where they will fit. But when the person has made up their mind that they cannot grow where they are, they let them go. Don't feel bad. Even if the person is your child, what you probably have done is created an environment that locks up their mind to change. And what you need to do is to expose them to different environments. And that's why you send them to boot camp. That's why you send them to see other kids and what they are doing at their age. That's why you send them to other people for mentorship and counseling. That's why you challenge them with things that you believe would build their capacity. That's why you change the environment for them. Trust me, even if the person is your child and you can't get rid of them, change the environment, because they are only demonstrating the result from an environment that they're exposed to. And if it wasn't an environment that you were involved in, then give them time. Because honestly, the greatest thing that influences our change is inspiration. When people are truly inspired, they take control of their life. So please, if the person is not changing, they made up their mind not to change. Either change the environment for them or let them go and have your peace of mind. Thank you.
Wonderful, 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 wonderful. And all the other comments are just great learning, great comments. Seth says, awesome. How do I think we've answered all the questions, and people are really good with what they have learned. So, guys, some of you have already registered for the group journey. Now, this time we have so many people. As we said, we announced 15 places, but we have more than 15. So we have had to set 2 streams of the group journey this time around. And so one stream started, we already have started on Tuesday. So we're having another stream on Thursdays. But that stream is not full. So if you wanted to sign up for the group journey and you felt, oh, they've started already, so it's okay, maybe, please, we're doing 2 streams now. We started on Tuesday. We are continuing next Tuesday, but we have set another stream on Thursdays. So please feel free to register now. Register your friend, the HR people, the managers, and on the call, register your team members. We have a lot of great people around the table, growth-minded people. We have, bankers, we have HR practitioners, we have different professionals, architects, different people on the court. They are all people at a certain level who feel that they still can grow more. And that is the point. Irrespective of where you are, you can improve your results. And Ekow is just telling us, we want you to get to a point where your current results is going to be an embarrassment tomorrow. In other words, you're going to change yourself and you're going to look back and say, what, did I do this? And Ekow, you are absolutely right. Sometimes I go back and I read some of my school notes and some of my essays that I wrote in secondary school, even in university. I read some essays. I said, what? I mean, I read through my MBA thesis, and I went back. I said, did I write this? It's all crap. A lot of the things I wrote. And by the way, I passed my exams, but now I'm reading it and I'm like, what? Did I write this? It really doesn't make sense, But the prof thought I made sense at that point. So, guys, we want your results today to be an embarrassment tomorrow. And that's why we're on the growth journey to make you better. So feel free to register. Well, at this point, we're just going to give Ekow the last word to share his closing remarks, his closing thoughts with us. But Ekow, this has been very good. It's been great. It's been insightful. Absolutely. I'm sure everybody has learned a lot. Thank you so very much. We appreciate you. All right. So what are your final thoughts for us as we close?
Okay, so thank you so much for this opportunity. My final thoughts is this: please, your life should be intentional. Don't leave it to chance, because time will go. You will get old, and you can only get to a point where you look at your life with regrets, or you look at your life with rewards. Two things. When you get to a point in your life and you look back, you either be regretting or you be enjoying the rewards of a life that you've intentionally and you have well lived. On that note, what I'll share with you is that instead of worrying yourself and then stopping yourself in your tracks, recognize that you've already been giving your greatest gift and your greatest asset, which is time. If you want to be a leader, you need to be influencing people. What that means is that be on a journey yourself, be so energized about that journey, and then people will carry along with you. If you want to be a business person, have it at the back of your mind that what you've said you want to do is to exchange time for the value through serving people. So whether a leader or an entrepreneur or anybody, at the core of your journey is, who are you serving? Who are you serving? Instead of worrying, you don't have the money to build a mansion, you don't have the money to set up a factory, you don't have the money to open an office. All those things are secondary to this fact and this fact alone. Everything you want to do is to serve somebody. So when you can't put in the infrastructure that would give you the presence that you're looking for, just focus on serving people every day. What do you need? What can I do? This is what I know. Can it help you? This is what I know how to do. Can it help you? By consistently presenting yourself to be of service to humanity, you get to build capacity to create, be influential, and to lead yourself, people, vision, and a cause. So be intentional and be a person that serves people. Thank you so much, and I hope to come your way again sometime. All the best, and don't waste time. Thank you, and good night.
Thank you so very much, and good night, everybody. We thank all of you for joining. We appreciate you, and we believe that you've learned a lot. God bless you. Have a good night, and let's go to church tomorrow for the Christians. Good night. Bye-bye.
Navigating through life without a coach or a guide can be very deceiving, making you come to think that you have achieved the highest or the best you can ever, or you have made the best of decisions. But until you become very intentional and take a good stock of your life, you would not realize that it's a mistake.
Pain helps you to come out of your comfort zone.
The law of intentionality and the fact that learning is a lifelong journey if you want to be significant. Emphasis on significance.
Previously, I used to be very
unintentional about the things I do when it comes to my family, my work, my Christian life, and basically everything that I do.
In the pursuit of that growth, there are gaps. There are gaps that we need to conquer. These gaps include the knowledge, perfection, mistake, inspirational, timing, and assumption gap.
And I will encourage you to be part of CTL Africa's 15-week growth journey.
I encourage you all out there who need to live their life to be part of CTL Africa's growth journey.
Please take advantage of this program and your life will never be the same.
Thank you very much, CTL Africa, and continue to impact the world. God bless.